Kibbe and Finnegan radio show. Now on the biggest broadcast network of them all. We made it.
What are we on?
We're on the same ones.
Oh, okay. I was kind of like half-assed listening to you while reading Instagram because have we talked about this before? One of the dudes that works at Hoonigan called me out for a race.
Oh yeah, that was in my notes. So about 18 million people have asked if we could chat about that today. So
sure.
It's on the list. Hang on, real quick. Yeah, we are on the biggest network ever, iTunes.
That is the biggest, dude. We've arrived.
It's here. We made it.
Are we always on iTunes?
Please don't blow my moment here. Yes.
Shit, sorry. Yes, we are on the biggest network ever, and no ads because we like being broke.
No ads. We are doing Patreon only. So if you enjoy this wittiness and banterish, you can support the ad with money, which helps us just keep the lights on and keep it rolling. And you can do that at patreon.com/KFshow. And I think as long as our schedule hasn't changed, tomorrow we're recording our June Patreon only Q&A show.
Yeah. God, I'm so glad we don't do ads anymore. It's so much less stress. All I have to do is watch a little television and then just hop on Skype and we're done. We make a show. I don't have to memorize anything. I don't have to endorse things that, are questionable.
Would you be opposed to MeUndies though? Because I missed that.
No, they're cool. You're in love with them. You're in love. And I'll admit, if MeUndies actually sent me a pair of underwear that fit, I'd wear them because I've felt the material, and it's the softest thing I've ever felt. And there's nothing I want more next to my scrotum, other than my wife, is MeUndies. So yeah, I'd be down with them.
That's a good endorsement. I actually got pulled aside at the Power Tour by a few people. They said these things are legit, man. These are awesome. Like,
okay, this sounds like we're doing an ad.
Well, we're not. But I miss the ads for them.
I don't miss the ads at all.
No, for MeUndies, I like the MeUndies ads.
Because here's the thing about the ads. Here's the things like I don't like about them is it's not so much the products. Like the bulk of them were stuff we said yes, we use it or we'd like to use it or whatever. But they're so picky about the things you say. You say one wrong word, and next thing you know, you owe them another ad for free. And we had a hard time getting paid too, so screw the ads. Moving on.
We have moved on to a fun, happy, filled show of joy.
Yes.
So I have some news for you.
All right.
Well, actually, let's do Hoonigan, and then I'll do the news for you. So tell me about this Blasphemi Hoonigan call-out. Yeah, and you might want to get people familiar with Hoonigan in general, just in case.
So Hoonigan, I don't know how you phrase what they are. Like, they make apparel, they make videos. They're responsible for those awesome Ken Block Gymkhana videos that terrorize the internet.
Is this a company owned by Ken Block?
I have no idea how the company functions. I just know that they design cool things. They make cool videos. They have a facility somewhere in Long Beach, California, where they'll let anyone go there and do burnouts and destroy tires. And they look like they're having a lot of fun. Beyond that, I don't know much about them. But I've had friends that have gone down there, and there's a lot of people out in the internet land that keep saying, do something with Hoonigans, or, go have a beer with the Hoonigans. All of this sounds great, but I live in Georgia. And recently, somebody told me, hey, look, you need to go watch this video because at the very end of it, they call you out. And sure enough, this guy, John Chase, who's a really talented artist, I think he does a lot of the design work for the Hoonigan stuff. At the very end of it says, I'm calling you out. And John Chase has a 55 Chevy like mine. And it looks like a gasser, or at least it did. So he called me out, and I think the car was originally a stick shift, straight axle, gasser looking thing with a small block.
Mike Finnegan, I'm calling you out. Let's do it. Tri-Fi by Fire versus Blasphemi.
And he called me out, and now they're building a nitrous sniffing LS engine, which is a great strategic move. You want to make horsepower, you want to save some weight, LS is the way to go. Does it look right in a gasser? No, but whatever, it is what it is. I don't care. I just hope he builds a car he's happy with, and I hope I stomp a mud hole in him when we race. So
you are?
We're going to. I don't know when or where, because again, I'm in Georgia. But yeah, I think this year it's going to happen. Think there's a couple opportunities for it to happen where my car will be on the West Coast at some point for like SEMA and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, we're going to line up. You know, I'm in on this. I've already started having fun with him. It's funny is the mini trucking world has, whether we all know it or not, is kind of infiltrated the regular car world.
Yeah.
A lot of my mini trucking friends from back in the day now work at various places. So when they call you up and go, "Hey, John Chase just asked for some parts. What should we do?" And I said, "Hey, don't ship those parts yet. Let me send you a bunch of Blasphemi stickers so you can tag up all his shiny new parts before he gets them." Fun stuff like that gets to happen. So we did that. My buddies at Headman and Hamburger waited, and I sent them a whole bunch of FSM and Blasphemi stuff. And I guess they tagged his timing cover and oil pan and whatnot before they mailed it to him. So I've had fun with this. I have nothing against John. I've never met him. So I don't know what the build up to the race will be, because I don't hate him, and there's really nothing to lose here. So I'm gonna have fun either way. But I hope I win.
I hope you win too.
Yeah.
But if you lost, then you get to race him again.
Yeah. And it was round 2.
There's always that.
I hope I don't lose.
I was asked a question, not Blasphemy related, Charger related, from an anonymous person who would like to remain anonymous.
Oh, okay. So it's you?
No. Well, actually, he goes by Maze Canine. That's the guy.
Okay.
See if you figure that one out.
Maze dog. No idea.
Oh, you're getting close. He didn't ask to be anonymous. I made that part up. He would like to know, now that you have your 68 Charger, and it's kind of the dream car you wanted, if you ever need a General Lee.
What do you mean need a General Lee? Like he wants to give me a General Lee?
No.
Oh, just in general. Do I need one now?
Right.
No, I don't think I do. I really like the death metal car. I'm good. I'm gonna, it's actually not in my garage right now. I was gonna say I'm gonna drive it, see if I get it out of my system, and fall in love with it or don't fall in love with it. But I think I'm already in love with it. So, so yeah, I'm good. You have a General Lee. I got to see it. It was rad. One day I hope to ride in it. I'm cool.
You can drive it.
That would be great. Make it better than mine, because the way you've described how yours drives, it sounds about like mine, and there's no reason for me to drive yours.
I think they're probably more related. Some of the problem in it is probably self-inflicted. Like I was looking at the front wheels, how I have them aligned right now, and we moved a lot of crap trying to make things work. And like the front left wheel is it's like 45 degrees negative camber. I mean it's like a lot. It's like did something broken? And then the front right it's tipped in a little bit. I don't know what's going on in there. We were taking things apart at a rapid clip, and nothing got aligned. I mean, it just all got shoved together. The only thing we did do was put cotter pins back in.
Oh, well, that's good.
It's got to be safe, right? So,
definitely.
I think it's probably a better car than I'm giving it credit for.
I think we have similar alignments, your car and my car, because mine, the left front tire has positive camber, the right front tire has negative camber, and the toe is pretty screwed. So it doesn't drive straight down the road, but man, does it turn left.
Yes. Yeah.
Even when you don't want
to. This one I have, now that I've driven a little bit more, under 70 miles an hour, it's honestly fine. It's totally fine. Once you get it up over 70, and especially on some like I-75 in Atlanta where it's pretty bumpy, it hunts all over the place. And you're constantly correcting, and you never really catch up. You're just trying not to ping pong off of people. But I have your K member. I've been sourcing parts like crazy. I would love to have your K member in by my favorite show of the year is the Des Moines, Iowa Good Guys show. It's next weekend. 4th of July weekend is usually when it is. and it's so much fun. And I autocross my Chevelle, and this year I have 3 cars to take: my Chevelle, the Charger, and our Volkswagen Carmen Ghia, because it's eligible now because they raised the year limit to 1987 now, and my Carmen Ghia is 73. So I was hoping to take them all, but my wife has told me, like, sitting around all day waiting for me to autocross kind of sucks, and it's not her favorite thing to do. And we have so much family and friends that show up at this thing now. I'm kind of committed to autocrossing because I'm their ride. Like, whenever Jerry from Sandusky wants a ride, like, they come over and I text them, all right, I'm in line, just come over and hop in. And I love taking people on hot laps. My car is too heavy to really be competitive at this point at Good Guys. Like, I'd have to make some pretty big changes in it, in addition to just being better driving it, to really be able to win something. So I kind of didn't worry about that. I thought, well, I'll just give everybody that asks a ride. And I have
win the adoration of friends and family.
Yeah, I've never lost out on that. But I may only autocross one day this time. Just tootle around in the other stuff next time, or the next day.
Ah.
That's my life.
So my question is, are you going to live your life the way I seem to frequently, and that's you really don't have enough time to swap the K member in that car, get it aligned, make the car work? Are you going to anyway, or are you going to leave the car the way it is now because it functions and just take the car? How much sleep do you want? That's the question.
We really think the same process, don't we? I have been this morning trying to figure out how can I get parts here by Thursday, because my buddy Rodney's brother has a 2-post lift, not 30 miles away, but 60 miles away. And we really need a 2-post lift to do this K-member swap, because Rodney's lift is like a drive-on lift, like normal lift. And the only thing we had figured out is, all right, Rodney, if we got to use your lift, we got to get the car in there sideways so that the front end is hanging over. And as long as we don't kill ourselves, this should work pretty good. But I think if I can get parts here by Thursday, we'll go ahead and do it. If I cannot, and it's looking more and more like I cannot, unless I'm willing to drop a few Hondy on shipping charges, then I'll probably put the QA1 upper control arms in it and get it aligned, and then try to get the front brakes to work, and then take it. Because there's no point to take it and not run around the autocross once. I mean, that's crazy. So,
aren't the lawn chair nationals?
Yeah,
sit around all day. Come on.
And I think I want to try to get the headers in and different exhaust, because
It's a lot. I love it. I love your thought process. I love that you're like, yeah, well, I can't do the K member, but I'll do this and exhaust and get it aligned, and
this is all doable, and then it makes sense in my head, because the same shop that will do the exhaust will do the alignment. All I got to do is get the upper control arms in it.
I'm not laughing. No.
See?
Because this is no different than what I would do, or what I'm doing, or my life is a veritable disaster right now because I bitten off more than I could chew in certain events that require my 55 Chevy to run, and it currently doesn't. So
yep. Once again, you have screwed yourself.
I have. I couldn't say no. This last one. So I got a phone call. There's this thing called the World's Greatest Drag Race. And it's a Motor Trend event where they shoot out like supercars and whatnot. And they called me like, hey, do you want to come in at the end of it and like race the 4 fastest cars? Mm-hmm. I was like, dude, that sounds like a lot of fun. But then I turned around and went, oh, except there's no wiring in my car. And I'm leaving, and I'm pretty much not going to be home until 2 days before your race. So I concocted this plan in my head okay, I'm going to hurry up and wire the car. Then I'll ship the car to the West Coast, but I'll ship it to my buddy's shop. I'll get there. We'll tune it on the dyno, and then I'll trailer it out to where this race is, and it'll be fine and ready, And in between, I'll film roadkill and do all these other things I need to do.
Couldn't be simpler.
Couldn't be simpler.
Couldn't be simpler.
And the dyno shop's like, your car's too loud. The neighbors hate it. Can you, put some mufflers on that thing and, add one more O2 sensor? And I'm like, yeah, I could do all that and wire it. And so I think I'm doing that somehow.
You're putting mufflers on it? Why are you putting mufflers on it?
The dyno shop is in an industrial complex, and after being there for 15 years, the neighbors are livid about the noise on the chassis dyno. Because the chassis dyno, you pull your car in and it's at the front door, and the exhaust points out the back door directly at the neighbor's place.
Yeah.
So they built this sound wall that they move in front of cars, when they dyno them. But my car is just unbelievably loud because it's open headers and no mufflers. And so I need to buy a pair of mufflers and fab some clamping set up to just slide them onto the end of the side pipes just so I can dyno it.
Well, isn't that going to monkey with the tune now to have mufflers on it?
I'm hoping that if I get big enough ones that they won't monkey with it too much. But yes. Thankfully, the joys of EFI will make it where I can get it close enough that when I take the mufflers off and put the thing in closed loop, it should compensate, and we should be okay. The thing about it, here's the great thing about EFI, right? As long as you create a base fuel map that is within, 1% of where you need to be, if you make a big change like that and then you run it in closed loop, it should compensate for the change, and it should run well. We shouldn't burn the motor down. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, joys.
In theory, that all works.
In theory, the whole thing works. I win the race, and then like 3 weeks from now, I'm back home, and my car's tuned and working and not broken, and I'm ready for drag week.
In theory, communism works.
Ooh, God.
In theory.
What's that guy all about? So you're talking about that cadet who had it written on the inside of his hat and made a whole bunch of Instagram posts and...
I'm quoting Homer Simpson.
Oh, God. I thought... So on the news today, I read on MSN that the West Point just fired a cadet. Was it West Point? They basically just,
they booted him out. Yes, I did. I heard about that, too.
It turns out he's a communist.
Yeah, we frown on that.
Yeah, apparently we do.
Okay, I have some fun news for you.
Okay.
John Schneider. We've
jail.
Yeah, he went to jail.
That's not fun, dude.
But
he's only there 3 hours, right?
That's exactly what I wanted to chat about. So he went to jail for not paying $150,000 of, I hope it wasn't child support, but like spousal support or something like that. And he just said, I couldn't pay it. I was broke. So I don't know if he has to repay it, but he did get sent to jail. The judge sent him to jail for 3 days and then several hundred hours of community service. He went to jail, but it was just too crowded. So they sent him home.
Yeah, if you're going to go to jail for a nonviolent crime, go in California because you're really not going to spend much time there. Those prisons are way overcrowded. Everybody gets out.
Well, John Schneider got out, which of course made me cue this. I think.
Someday the mountain might get him, but the law never will.
All you need to know.
How is John Schneider broke? I mean, I know he made his own kind of like studio or whatever, but I would think he would be getting residuals from all the stuff he's done. Like, was he on Smallville? And,
yeah,
doesn't he, Dukes of Hazzard, isn't he getting a cut of that? Like,
I don't know how any of that stuff works because I watched this documentary on all the people that were in Top Gun, like the 1986 Top Gun, and some of them had a contract and they just got paid to work and they left. And then some of them had a residual contract. And like the guy that paid, he was like Merlin's guy in the back seat, Cougar. Or no, not Cougar. Cougar got kicked out, right? He was a backseat guy. He was in the movie all of 8 minutes. Every month he walks out to his mailbox and he gets a nice big check.
Awesome. Mailbox money.
Mailbox money. So that's still working for him. But
we need to figure out how to do that, Kibbe. How do we do that? Oh, yeah, Patreon. Thank you.
Patreon ought to do it.
Yeah.
Direct support. Okay, here's the next piece of news. Okay. This will be the end of me. Coca-Cola has launched an alcoholic drink. This is legit news. It says Coca-Cola launches first ever alcoholic drink in Japan. The brand has brought out its first ever alcoholic drink based on the Japanese alco pop called Chuhi. The Drink Giant's 3 fizzy and boozy lemon drinks went on sale May 28th, and the exact recipes are closely guarded secrets.
All right.
Have you had? Yeah.
It sounds like a Zima or something.
Yeah. Sounds like a Zima. I'm not really a Zima guy. I really just prefer beer.
Yeah, I like beer. Beer sponsor. Not ads. Sponsor. We need a beer sponsor.
Straight up beer sponsor.
Evil Genius Brewing. If you're out there, I love your beers. Sponsor this show. And I don't mean by like mailing us beer, because beer is fairly inexpensive. I mean, show us real
You mean cash? Let's be honest here.
cash
Sponsorship.
money.
We don't want stuff. We want your money.
That's what people don't get. I forgot who did it. It was somebody on Instagram the other day. I espoused the virtues of something I was working with in here. It was shrink tubing. And there's this really good shrink tube that starts out like an inch in diameter and then shrinks all the way down to where you can shrink tube like a 20 gauge wire. It's impressive stuff. And I was like, this stuff's rad. And somebody commented about how, I must be really excited about all the free parts I get. And I'm like, there's really not as many free parts as you think they are. And unless you're turning around and selling those free parts, they're virtually worthless because they're not going to pay your mortgage or your rent or anything else. And I think people lose sight of that. They've just figured, dude, you guys are rolling in free stuff. And no, dude, people don't give away Hemis. When you blow up a Hemi, you sell your Firebird to pay for that Hemi. Twice.
That's what you do. Twice. You sell 2 Firebirds. You buy another Firebird and then you sell it. All right. Here's another random thing that I learned.
Yeah.
Hopefully this works. Are you familiar with Lego Batman?
Yes.
Okay. Let me try this here.
Well, I mean, I've never seen it, but I've heard about it.
Let me try this with Siri here. Hey, Pewter.
Hello, sir. Alfred is on the 17th floor, caulking the tiles in the second bathroom of the 5th master bedroom.
What?
That was Siri. Okay, let me try another one here.
All you got to do is use Bat Dad's voice.
Yeah.
And she responds.
You got to say Pewter. I'm pretty sure you have to say Pewter, so let me try this one. Hey, Pewter. What's up?
Greetings, Robert.
Aw. Thanks, Pewter.
Welcome home, sir. For your information, Robin is trying on costumes in the Batcave again. He's doing some pirouettes in Patrishnikov.
I've did this for like 30 minutes yesterday. Like there's all sorts of different answers. Sometimes you get the same one 3 times in a row, and sometimes you get nothing but new ones.
About a year ago, if you recited part of the verse to that Queen song, Bohemian Rhapsody,
yeah,
she finished it. She finished it in her computer voice, like 20 verses. It was great.
Galileo.
Yeah, but
Really?
in computer voice, it was awesome.
Let's see, what else do I got here for you? I have an email for you. This is from Steve G. Sarkey. He says, "Hello, Robert and Mike. I hope all is well and that you're having a great start to your summer." And then this next part's to me. He says, "I recently started binging the Kibbe and Finnegan Show podcast as I realized I could listen to them on my work phone. I'm not going to lie, though. When the show first came out, I did try to listen, but I was not a big fan of yours." He's talking to me. "You're a freeloading dirtbag riding on Mike's coattails." I made that part up. He says, "That's changed. I don't know why I didn't like you before, but now I like you. I'm a fan of Mike. Keep things up." And it's a very nice email going from there. I share this.
There was no criticism. There was no freeloading dirtbag. You made that all up.
No, I share this because I have received a similar email to this a few times. Like, I tried this and I hate you, but the more I listen to you, the more I don't mind you.
Wow.
And I remember when I first started podcasting, like 10 years ago, like that stuff would just cut you to the bone too, because they'd be saying things that you kind of thought yourself sometimes. And now it kind of rolls off, and hopefully you learn something if there's something, and otherwise you just throw it away if it's a total crazy comment. This ended up being a very nice email. He had a lot of cool stuff to say. He would like us to review Daisy Confused, which I think is a great idea. But just on and on. I don't know how you deal with the haters, and I'm sure we've talked about this before.
I strongly dislike the sound of my own voice, so I just assumed when you went through the email bag, you didn't read the negative.
No, nothing like that. Okay, I'm doing yet another topic here. Got a burning Bernie for you. Ready? Okay, here we go. Oh, doggone, I gotta keep turning this thing up.
It's Burning Questions with Bernie. If you've got a question for us, send it care of email through robert@themusclecarplace.com. That's robert@themusclecarplace.com. Well, usually we tackle 3 questions from you guys and gals, 3 things that will make humanity a better place. Well, today we can do it all with 1 question. Caden listens, and Rob has something just for you today. He wants to help. He knows your struggles. He knows your pain. He knows that with every age milestone, your plight becomes, well, in this case, thinner. Caden says this. There's been some talk recently of using stem cells to reverse baldness in males, and it's actually working. And then here's his question. He says, if you were approached, Rob, would you be willing to try it out? Just curious, he says. Well, Rob, before you answer that, let me assure Caden of one thing. Stem cell research is a great thing when done properly. The exception is in cases like Finnegan, where for thousands of years, his family, boys and girls, were said to be totally bald. Stem cell research in its early days came in and reversed that. Today, Mike is sometimes called Daddy, and sometimes he's called Yeti. Well, you decide if it worked or not. So the upside is the home haircutting market has risen 200% in the last 10 years, and every guy in America now can lift his arms in the morning, looks at his pits, and thinks, yep, there's still hope. So Rob, while your arms are up, are you up for stem cell therapy?
I don't even need to be here. We could just get Bernie's own show.
This is why we need Patreon. That was whatever we made this month is all going right there.
I don't believe there was a question there at all. You could just move right on.
Oh no, it's stem cell. Would I do hair transplant? Stem cell. Sure. I'm taking a vitamin right now.
You may want to rethink that, because maybe it was you that told me this, that the guys that get the transplant stuff done, that's there for 20 years, but then the rest of you goes bald, and then you just have these odd shaped.
That's the
patterns.
plugs. Yeah, I definitely stay away from like actual plugs. This is stem cell, like monkeying with your gene. No, I don't want stem cells modifying my.
Don't modify. Don't modify. Don't accent.
I am taking some vitamins that seem to have. They're thickening. They're definitely not growing anything, but it seems to be getting thicker.
Okay.
Right.
Well, that's it. Remember to send your stuff to robert@themusclecarplace.com, titled Burning Questions with Bernie. And as always, thanks so much. Busy day today, though, working on a plan to make used motor oil into a summertime hair conditioner. That's right, baby. The oily look is back. Later.
What's Burning Bernie? If you have a burning, when you send those in, just put Burning Bernie in the email, and I'll just forward it right to him. There you go. All right, I have a quick celebrity birthday game for you, and then we'll do the Dukes of Hazzard review. Okay. So there's no real direct connection other than these people have a birthday in the month of June. But it's kind of celebrity stuff. So here's the first one. You got to get the name of the person and the age within 2 years.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Yep.
Say you, say me.
Lionel.
Yes.
Say it for
Richie.
always.
How old is Mr. Lionel Richie?
That's
God,
the
I
way
have no
it
idea.
is.
All right, he's got a daughter who's 20-ish, so I'm going to say he's 66.
You got it within 2 years. He is 68.
Wow, he's old.
It's hard. Isn't it amazing how old he is? Because he was a normal dude when we were kids. Now he's old.
Guy had hair.
Guy had
No,
hair.
he doesn't.
What? He doesn't?
I don't know.
Okay.
Sure, he's got some vitamins.
Well, don't knock it. I mean, that's the stuff that you brought me. That's what that was.
It just arrived in my home. I have no idea how it got there. But I looked at the box, then I looked at my hairy arm and went, nope, don't need this.
Oh, for the record, I declined the
Kibbe.
sponsor, but I kept the stuff.
That's the danger that they take in sending you stuff.
Okay, here's the next one. This is from a movie, and this is a tougher one than the last time. So you got to guess the name of the movie, and then the person who has turned. I almost said that the birthday person is the love interest in this film, but you will not hear them in this clip.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, and I've kind of shortened this up for audio purpose here.
Well, looks like we found something.
What's that?
Concealed weapon
Where?
All right. So Nicole
Right.
Kidman is the love interest.
here.
How old is she? She is
Now,
Hang on.
50.
the only question is,
Wow. I just wanted that part.
will he
Is he gonna-
actually use it?
You.
That was Days of Thunder. What was Tom Cruise getting strip searched? And I don't know. It's Nicole. How old is Nicole Kidman? 50?
Oh, you got it all right. Bing, bing, bing. Nicole Kidman is 50. You have completely won the game.
Wow. So, Hot Rod Power Tour, as we talked about in the last episode, came right through my hood, and a couple of my friends from Texas were on their way back, and they stopped at the house, and I discovered that they had never seen Days of Thunder. Now, these are younger people, but, not too young. So I forced them to watch that movie at like midnight so that, they could hear phrases like monkey f***ing a football, 'cause that's classic cinematic dialogue, Yeah. And the go out and hit the pace car speech, that's also a classic. So Aaron and Emily, you're welcome for the enrichment I gave to your lives.
They had never seen that movie?
They had never seen that movie.
How can that be?
Mm-hmm.
That movie, it's Top Gun, but it's in car form. But the guy who had so much input to it, I have learned, wasn't so much Rick Hendrick as it was Harry Hogg. Or Harry Hyde. What's the guy's name in the movie? Who's Robert Duvall in the movie? Harry what?
Hogg.
Okay, so the real person who he was based off of was Harry Hyde.
Harry Hyde.
Like legendary NASCAR crew chief, ended things at Hendricks. That's where his career probably finally wrapped up. But he was the guy that was the crew chief for the K&K Dodge Daytona that set the record at the Bonneville Salt Flats.
Oh.
He was that guy. Like a truly amazing dude. And I just interviewed Tim Wilburn for a muscle car place and ran last week. And he got to know all these different people in there. But he owns that K&K Daytona now.
Yeah, and Daniel Boshiers has told me all about it.
It's going to go race again. Which I think is really cool.
That's
so
cool.
Going to take it back to Daytona and see if they can break another record with it.
Wow.
Or Daytona, sorry, Bonneville. So that is really awesome stuff. Okay, well, I think we've hit the point in the show where we could probably do the Dukes of Hazzard review.
All right. Why not?
So,
did you watch the episode?
I did. In fact, I watched it in the truck on the way down to your place last week.
Because that's safe.
I don't think I was driving at that point. We traded off. So, this is... Well, no, we had it up, I'm sure. But Season 4, Episode 4, Coltrane versus Duke, written by Simon Munter, directed by Don McDougall. Original air date, Halloween, 1981. Mike, did you see this episode?
2 times.
Really? 2 times?
Yeah. Once, I was only kind of half-ass listening and watching to it. The other time, I paid full-ass attention.
Whole ass listening.
All of it.
All right.
100%.
Well, let's have the super summary, Mike. The review that is missed, that people look forward to. Maybe this is the only part people listen to. Let's have it. Let's have it.
I doubt that. So 2 things, right? First thing, I haven't been watching my DVDs lately. I've been watching on Amazon.
Yeah.
So I'm likely missing the extra credit stuff that you get by watching, the DVD extras, which sucks. But the other thing I want to mention about that is Season 4 on Amazon, the icon is Coy and Vance for every episode of Season 4. And every time I flip it on, it trips me out. I'm like, wait. Are we there already? I'm kind of excited to see the handoff, but I know we're not there yet. Mm-hmm. So Amazon, get your stuff together. Anyway, this is the story of how Boss Hogg tries to snooker the Dukes out of the family farm by lying about Roscoe being injured during a recent car chase involving Bo and Luke, right? And yes, it's not a very creative way to achieve the goal, and Lord knows we've seen plenty of fake injury storylines on 80s television, but it does add a little something extra to this episode. So first, there's the requisite dirtbag impersonating a doctor who vouches for all of the broken bones inside of Roscoe's body. And that dude conveniently becomes an expert witness when Boss sues the Dukes for $50,000, money they don't have, because he aims to get a judgment and the farm. He didn't actually want their money, right? He wanted somebody else's money. Yeah, he wants the farm. And the fake injury storyline also provides an excellent opportunity for James Best to flex his comedic chops, and he does so perfectly. Mm-hmm. Between moaning and groaning, he delivers lines like, I feel like a cow chip in a wind tunnel. And that happens after he falls out of an ambulance and rolls down a hill on a gurney. And I absolutely loved it every time he called the fake doctor, "You quack." It was awesome.
Yes.
The story is further complicated by the arrival of the owner of the Crystal Mountain Brewery, who wants the Duke farm because there's a stream running through it, and he needs the water to make his beer. So Boss is really motivated to get the farm now because he can turn a fat profit on it by selling it to this guy. And as usual, the Duke family and Cooter outwit Boss and Roscoe by catching Roscoe running in his hospital gown and getting a photo of him on foot. You know, they get the photo to a judge just before he files the paperwork to transfer the deed for the farm over to Boss, and they all live happily ever after. It's very neat and tidy. There are multiple jumps in this. Only one of them is really good. This is a good episode for the comedy. That's about it. It's very funny, but not a lot of great action. There is action, there's driving, but it's not like what we're going to have in the next couple episodes where there's a race involved, which I'm looking forward to. The only shenanigan here that I question comes in the finale when the Duke boys jump the Charger to escape Sheriff Little, and immediately afterwards, it looks like the passenger door of the General Lee is open, as if it wasn't really welded shut. Beyond that, I give this thing a 6.
Solid 6.
6. Truck stop, foot-long corn dogs.
Good summary.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
this is an episode, like, I watched this a week ago. I pulled 2 little clips for you today. But I was trying to remember this from a week ago. All I really remember is Roscoe was hilarious. That's mostly what I remember. I didn't really even remember some of the plot in this. And for me, that's weird because, like, I'm a story thinker. Like, I remember anything told to me in story form, but I don't remember names and dates.
Yeah, it's not a great story, and Cooter's hardly in it. Daisy and Uncle Jesse really, they didn't need to be in it. This is a showcase for James Best, and to a smaller degree, a lesser degree, Boss Hogg.
They're very good together. There's like one stunt that I remember, and I watched it again this time, and I really, really liked it. It's when Roscoe is on the gurney in the ambulance and falls out the back.
Yeah.
So the Dukes following them avoid killing him by running him over, then 180 go chase him down, and Luke hops out and kind of runs like Dumb and Dumber, like
that was pretty
running
cool,
at an amazing clip and catches him. It's just a cool stunt. I thought that was a good one. And there's another shot in here that I remembered because it was from like a second story window looking down on the General Lee. Like, I think the doctors, they're there to pick up the doctor, but he's in the second floor of the hospital.
Delivering triplets. No, he's at a house, I think.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Delivering triplets, and they're waiting.
And they're down there waiting. And I just remembered that it was that episode that got me thinking that the interior of these cars was so super dark. And when that scene came up, I made sure to watch it again. So for those that are listening, this won't make sense. But for those watching, here's my paint board. And this won't help you very much. But on this side, Mike, the darker side, this is called, I think it's called Robin Wood Blue or Bluebird Brown. Sorry, Bluebird Brown.
Really dark.
Very, very dark color. This is an SEM interior color. And this one's called Camel Tan.
Camel Tan is what I associate with Duke cars.
When you pull up a 69 Charger that has like a factory saddle and tan interior, there are several different shades of tan and brown used in that from the factory. The dashboard is the dark color.
Okay.
The seats are the light color.
And you rarely see the dashboard in a Dukes episode. So I guess that's why I associate the interiors of those cars being the light color, because you always see the seats.
I found one promo shot where it's definitely a factory saddle tan color, and you see both, like, and they're very distinct and they're very clear, and it's not lighting that's doing it. But in this particular shot, it was just kind of a middle of the road kind of muddy color. So I don't know. I like that part. It's helping me make my interior choices. I appreciate it.
There you go.
Here's
automotive archaeology.
I like this stuff. Here's Corn Dog's insider analysis. He says, another typical Dukes Hazzard storyline. The Dukes wait until the very last second to pay their mortgage, or in the case of this episode, their taxes, and Boss Hogg is anxiously waiting for them to be late on their payment so he can take possession of their farm and sell it for a huge profit. So far, this sounds like your review.
Actually sounds better. I could just go.
Let's see here. So Boss Hogg puts together the perfect scheme to pull it off. The episode has a few good jumps, some of which were recycled, but my favorite part of this episode is Roscoe. All of his one-liners, calling the doctor a quack, and the way he said fee-fi-fo-fum had me cracking up. There really wasn't much to pull from this episode, but I have a few for you. At the 4:49 mark, at the beginning of the episode, after Bo and Luke give Boss Hogg the money and come running out of the courthouse, as they climb into the General Lee, watch very carefully how they do it. Luke gets in the car first, hits the ignition, and as Bo climbs in, he throws the shifter in gear and they pull off. It's like clockwork. He's totally right. I've watched them do this time and time again. And now that I've wired up a neutral safety switch in these cars, I know how it works, and you just take this one and ground it and it'll start in gear and work great. At the 27-minute mark, when the Duke boys were when the Duke boys are waiting outside the house for the doctor to deliver the babies, what we're talking about, there is a great shot of the General Lee. One thing I noticed is that the car is running 7-inch wheels up front and 8-inch wheels in the rear. And
Only Corndog could spot the difference in wheel width with a tire mounted to it.
He sent me a screenshot and like, son of a gun, he's right. It totally is. 43:24 mark. When the judge is leaving the diner and the camera cuts to the Duke boys and the General, this is clearly a 68 Charger. You can see the fake 69 center section that is attached to the center of the 68 grille, along with the pointed 68 dash and smooth over fenders. I give this episode a 7. Also, this next bit isn't related to this episode, but I thought it was an interesting fact. I went to a family reunion last weekend. Our family is from a small town, Greenville, Kentucky, which is where I was born. There's another small town that borders Greenville called Powderly, Kentucky. James Best was born in Powderly. The main strip that goes through Powderly is called James Best Highway, and there's a sign on the edge of town with his picture saying, home of James Best, and then it's a picture of him with flash and it says Roscoe P. Coltrane. And he sent me the pictures and it's still there to this day.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, he says, the last time I saw Mr. Best, I told him that I was from Greenville, and he thought it was so cool because there just aren't too many people who know where Greenville or even Powderly are. I thought that was a neat little tidbit. So, yeah, that's
Maybe
really
someday
neat.
You'll have your own block.
Yeah.
Kibbe Way.
Kibbe Way. Kibbe Road. Kibbe Boulevard.
Yeah,
Boulevard.
for cruising.
What would Mike Finnegan drag strip? Mike Finnegan's discount parking.
Mike Finnegan's cheap cars and VCRs.
You could sell used transmissions.
I could. Yeah.
I've always thought
You bring them in, I blow them up.
the used transmission business would be a good one to go in. Here's a couple audio clips here, and for the three of us, I guess I pulled the two clips that made us laugh the most. So here's the first one.
Don't do that. Don't read that fee-fi like that. That's scary. Don't do that. Do it natural.
Fee-fi, foo-fum.
Yeah.
Here's the other one. Can you guess what it is? I'm sure you can. I'm not playing it yet. See if you can guess.
Cow chips.
It's not that one.
Oh, it's not that one? The other one be. I don't know.
Yes, as his personal physician, I felt that
You're a quack.
I told you not to call me that.
Quack, quack, quack. Oh.
The way he says quack is awesome. I could listen to James Best utter the word "you quack" all day.
This is when he starts getting like super silly slappy. Because like I think towards like season 6, he has like a Bugs Bunny doll when he sleeps. I mean, it's crazy. Season 1, he shot somebody.
Right. Like remember back to season 1, episode 1 and 2. He was a dirt bag, a lying, cheating, stealing dirt bag who actually shot somebody. And the 2005 movie, that was how they played him. Like
mean.
There was no
mean.
Yeah, he was mean. There was no there was none of that, you know. Mm-hmm. So he's definitely becoming more of a character as we go on, which I like it. It's funny.
Yeah, I do too. And this is more how I remember the series. But the Dukes movie, whenever we finally get to reviewing that is such a different take. They have the same names. The only character that's the same is the car.
Yeah.
Everybody else is totally different. Like Willie Nelson's not, a fatherly pastoral type of guy at all.
No, Bo Duke is like crazy.
Yeah, like, the only thing he can do is drive.
Yeah,
that he's good at that. Luke
he's got anger management issues. Like he's just, definitely different deal.
Was that when you saw?
But I do like what they did with Daisy.
That worked out well.
Yeah.
That worked out very well. Did you see that movie in the theater?
Damn right, twice. Daisy was hot, and dude, the stunts were amazing. The driving, the cars, all of that. Like, it was a
That
good
is
movie.
for
I
sure.
enjoyed it. You know, between Daisy and all the stuff that happened with the General Lee, it was fun.
I would say that the General never looked better. Oh, I did. From Corndog, his car is still in movie paint, so he clipped off a chunk of it and gave it to me, and it's big bad orange paint. So I got a little chunk of movie General here.
Dude, that's cool.
And I was just curious. I wonder what color my car is. And I know what color it isn't. It's not big bad orange. I held it up next to it, and like they're two totally different colors.
Is it that Corvette orange? Fire, what do they call it?
It's the big bad orange is a prettier color. Mine is far more yellow. Big bad orange, kind of a
Yours
richer.
is Department of Transportation orange, probably.
Might be.
Or U-Haul.
It's hard to say. Hard to say what color it is, but
We'll have to investigate that.
totally. Well, I think this is a good point as any to wrap this one out. If you would
Yes,
like
sir.
to get this show on the iTunes, please subscribe there. Tell your friends. You can support us at patreon.com/kfshow, where we do a once-a-month Q&A show. No holds barred. Well, some bars are holded, I suppose. You can go to Kibbe and Finnegan on the Instagrams, on the YouTubes. This will go to the YouTube. We're going to try to get these out on a very, very much more regular basis. And Mike's on the internet. Got anything? You're doing a lot on the internet. Like, you've really stepped up your game.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I uploaded one episode of Finnegan's Garage in 2 months. Thanks for noticing.
Well, I thought you had like 3 different ones in the works. At least the ones that I
dude,
know
I've
about.
filmed a lot of stuff. I just haven't gotten it up there yet. So
Do you ever consider just letting other people do the editing? Is it
I finally hired somebody to film and edit, brought him into the garage, and I don't know. Jury's not out on that one yet. We'll see how that goes. Haven't actually seen it, so cross our fingers.
Are you nude in it?
Am I? No, thank God. I don't need to see that. Hopefully nobody else does. Jesus.
Nobody does. Okay, Mike, I'll catch you later, everybody. Thanks for listening. We will see you next time.
Yeti porn.